Are you a prepper or homesteader looking to connect with like-minded people in your area? Looking to start your own preparedness group? Already have a group? Well, look no further than PrepperNet. PrepperNet is dedicated to personal responsibility, individual freedoms, and being self-reliant. PrepperNet has monthly meetings in over 100 cities where you can meet and learn with like-minded people in your area. PrepperNet, where preppers unite. Find us online at preppernet.com.
Survive, thrive, stay alive. It's time to get prepared with the Prepping Academy podcast.
Hey, welcome to the Prepping Academy.
And I am here.
I'm Forrest. Tenderfoot is still alive.
Yes,
he is
I
not
am.
6 foot under.
No,
You are here.
that's
So,
right.
It's been crazy, and I told people.
I hadn't seen you since last year.
I know exactly. I told people how you work in a church and there's a school. There are so many events going on,
A lot.
and just with Christmas happening, it's just hard to get together.
It has been, and then just a lot of sickness and stuff like that going around. So
Yep,
that
and so-
flu bug, it's been nasty.
And so we are still around. Yes, matter of fact, next week we got Glenn Tate.
Oh yeah,
And you haven't read any of his books, have you?
you always get on me about reading.
Can you read? I'm starting to wonder
I
if you
can.
can. You can?
Look, I've got-
he's reaching around.
I've got a book right here.
He's reaching around. He's getting a book.
I've got a
It's
book.
called
Would you like to
Green
read that?
Eggs.
That's a textbook.
Green Eggs and Ham.
Our Father Abraham.
The Jewish roots of the Christian faith.
That's right. Because I'm going to Israel.
Oh, that's
so-
right. You are.
Yeah.
So, so you can read. I
can.
bet you have that on audio.
They don't make that one on audio.
You looked.
I looked.
I love listening to audiobooks though. I do.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of them just because I drive a lot, and I don't know, it's just easier.
Yeah,
and
audiobooks are great.
especially there's a guy. I forgot his name. He does all of Mark Goodwin's books, and he's just really good. He kind of gets his own personality in there. It's pretty good, with his voice.
Yeah.
And changes his voice for different characters.
Well, depending on what type of books you read, like
Yeah.
I don't read a lot of fiction based books, but so the books that I am reading, I like the little trick I do is you'll get the Audible and you get the book while I'm listening.
You'll follow along.
I can follow along and highlight that
Yeah.
stuff and go back. Really
That's
quick.
just bad.
But I found that has actually made me a better reader.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I can understand that. For the fact is, I'm studying for a test.
Yeah.
The General Ham class, the General Ham test, which is the second test in your ham license. And so how I study is I read the questions, and I read the question and the correct answer.
Yeah.
And that gets me and I say it out loud, which
Right.
it annoys everyone around me. Then I watch a YouTube video of a guy showing the question, reading it, and then reading the right answer. And see, I only have to study each question one time in a sense, and I've got it. Because I'm seeing it, I'm reading it, I'm hearing it,
And
and I'm saying it.
you're saying it, and that does make a difference.
And
to say
I'm
it
doing
out loud.
all four. And I did the technician test. I studied like 7 hours total and aced it. So I'm hoping I will do that good on this one. And that was an accomplishment. I'm an old guy, and I memorized 426 questions or something. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Did y'all just do something live? I totally missed it yesterday
Yes.
or something. Well, by the time you hear this, won't be yesterday. But
Yeah, our comms officer is going through the test. He's kind of teaching the test for the technician class ham license. So it's going to be recorded already on YouTube where you can go back and watch it. But he's going through every question, and he's giving you pointers and hints or teaching you why the answer is the answer.
yeah,
So you're going to, not only know the test, you're going to know some logic and reasoning why that's the right answer as well.
right,
He's going to go through the whole test.
sweet,
So you can go back and listen to that.
Good.
I thought that was
Okay.
pretty cool, though.
yeah,
The funny thing is, this question pool he's reading changes in like 3 months. So he's going to have to redo it again. But because he's putting a lot of work in there.
yeah,
But hey, we are here. We're back. Our goal is to bring you great content weekly. That's kind of our goal.
Yes.
We got some great interviews coming up. The cool thing about, I think, the two of us is we live kind of what we talk about.
Yes.
A lot of people don't. I mean, I'm taking my ham class. I mean, go out there and see how many people that you know that are called preppers, and they don't have the certifications. They don't actually, they talk about it, but they don't live it. A lot of people buy it. We live it. And so that's a huge difference. And I think people, especially in the Carolinas, they know that.
Yeah, definitely.
So, because you live like on a homestead with 58 goats and, okay, no.
It's not a full-fledged homestead.
I mean, you got chickens.
I do. And I got rabbits.
You got rabbits and you pet
cats.
the rabbits, right?
We eat cats, too.
You eat the cats?
No, we don't eat the cats.
So it's kind of cool. We are in our new home office.
Is that what? Yeah. That's what it is. Okay.
It's an undisclosed location, and we can't tell you because we would get in trouble.
I love this. We're always rotating. You can never find us.
Right.
But
we
you can
record
always
this
hear us.
in different places. That is true. That is so true. So it used to be my house.
That's right.
But the fans were just, the media, it was crazy.
And me trying to get there.
And you trying to get there.
Speeding.
So tonight, so we did do a quick podcast. I put it up a couple days ago, maybe even yesterday. It was only like 20 minutes. And I got the idea because I was traveling before Christmas to Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, what if the crap goes down right now? I've got people here in Greenville that I know and I trust that are in the same kind of network I'm in, but I have no way to get in touch with them. I have a ham radio, still have no way to get in touch with them.
Wow.
And so that's one of the things for the CPN, Carolina Preppers Network. We are trying to build that web. So no matter where you go or you have a kid going to a university at the East Coast and you live on the Western North Carolina, a network of friends and family that you can trust if something goes down and you're not at home.
Right.
The only thing is I thought about it later and I have to apologize.
What's that?
I did it from a male's perspective.
Okay.
Because I was the one traveling.
Okay.
And I was the one thinking of my wife and kids. I'm stuck in Greenville. But last night as I was laying there in bed, I'm like, you know what? Women travel too.
That's true.
It didn't register because it was me traveling. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I was speaking from kind of what I was feeling and what I need to do. Because, matter of fact, we have a ton of women that are the preparedness expert in their family.
Yeah, that is
very
what I mean? True.
And they're the ones, the breadwinners. And so I kind of felt bad about that. And I talked to my wife, and she goes, it was just your perspective. You weren't trying to, what you were feeling being out of, the area. And so, I don't know. I'm not trying to be socially correct, but it just was it did make me feel kind of weird when I started thinking about that.
Yeah, you're right. I think even when we did the travel show a while back, that came from the same thing. My perspective of, hey, I'm leaving my family. What am I going to do? What are they doing to prepare back at home? And what am I doing to be able to meet back up and everything? So it works both ways. And
yeah, we call them the sisters in our group. And they're the kingpin of preparedness. And they travel. And so I just didn't think about that.
Would it be Queen Pin?
Queen Pin, I guess.
No, okay. I'm sorry.
That's funny. So we did that. Next week is Glenn Tate. We got Scott Hunt coming on. We got Mark Goodwin coming on. A lot of people coming in the future. You need to tune in. And we're going to have some great content. Tonight is going to be on
Medical. But I didn't know exactly your exact title. But I was going to also say, but tonight you get Tenderfoot.
Yeah, Tenderfoot's here tonight. So he is not dead.
Yeah, no, it's going to be. Yeah, that's right.
Matter of fact, I went down and see.
I'm like a blister on your foot.
Yeah, no kidding, Tenderfoot. Okay. I went down and it was hilarious. You were eating, you and your wife and family were eating, and I went down and I sit beside, and I always give your kids a hard time. I just pick on them and play with them. And then I brought up the idea that we were getting ready to record a show. and I said, you did tell your wife, didn't you? He goes, or something. You go, well, she knows now.
Yeah. Oops. Oh, and there's this. Forgot to tell you.
Whoops. I won't be home until later because I will be. So good communications there.
Yeah.
And aren't you going on a marriage retreat this weekend?
I am. Going. So that needs to be one of the things that we cover.
Communications. See, I had it all planned out. Had a ride for my daughter to get home, all that, and you just bring it up on her.
Nope, sure, that's right.
Yeah. So medical, and the reason medical is, medical is very important, and you have a big background in medical.
I do. Yeah.
This past weekend, I went to and took a class called a combat medic class. It was insane. It was good. The physical training was better than the classroom, and I hope they don't listen. It's just because the classroom, I think we could have covered more. I wanted more material than just sticking on some of the big basics.
Right.
But I'd still give it a 9 out of 10. It was great. And you learn, chest seals, tourniquets. The tourniquet around the neck on me, it worked for a while. I passed out. No. But it was a good class. And I feel very confident that I can put a tourniquet on the correct way. I could put a chest seal on. I could also, what's the thing where you put above right here when their lung collapses? And it's a tube so it will release the air so the chest their lung can fill back out.
Yeah, hold on. Give me. I know exactly where you want to go to, the third intercostal space. But your chest tube. Chest
tube. Yes. So we aren't supposed to do that, but he, taught us how to do that as well.
Yeah. And
so that's supposed to be for a higher trained medical person.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a great class. We worked our butt off. My legs were like noodled the next day, where you, like, maybe I should, because he made us run like 100,000 miles, it seemed, and then do the task.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's just like what we had. We had field training, field med training with the Marines, preparation to go with the Marines, because as a hospital corpsman, that's what I was. I was a hospital corpsman in the Navy. But we, for those who don't know, a hospital corpsman also served the Marines. So the Marines don't have their own medical corps or whatever. They use the hospital corps.
Oh.
And so we are trained both on, everything from a ship to being out in the field. And so this particular training is called Field Med, and that's one of the things we do. I mean, you had to run, and you were getting fired at, and you had all this noise and had all this chaos going on, and they just drilled in us: improvise, adapt, and overcome. And I remember one of the things,
bringing out the acronyms again.
That's it, man. I got a ton of them. I remember like the very first time out there, and like my med gear, like I'd already saved like several patients, and got down to this one. And he had a fracture, and so I was like, what am I going to do? So I took his gas mask and the belt that's on the gas mask holder, the bag, and I take it and I use it to tie the legs together to do a splint to his other leg.
You were improvising?
I was improvising.
Sweet.
And he was yelling. He was coming over yelling at me. He said, "What are you doing, Curran?" And all that. So... And I just had to stop and say, "Hey, look, I'm trying to improvise, trying to get the patient saved." And he said, "Good job." Just walked off.
Right.
But you do. You have to be out there. You have to think on your feet.
You got to feel the adrenaline.
And you do. You're out of breath. A lot of stuff's going on.
Well, I feel like one of the things that I learned, and he said it was one of the most important things he was teaching, is you got to carry a tourniquet at all times.
Okay.
If you carry a gun, you need to have a tourniquet.
Yeah, so they're coming from that perspective.
Yeah. And the tourniquet is not for other people.
No, it's for you.
It's for you. And I never thought about that. Hey, let's take a quick break.
Are you a prepper or homesteader looking to connect with like-minded people in your area? Looking to start your own preparedness group? Already have a group? Well, look no further than PrepperNet. PrepperNet is dedicated to personal responsibility, individual freedoms, and being self-reliant. PrepperNet has monthly meetings in over 100 cities where you can meet and learn with like-minded people in your area. PrepperNet, where preppers unite. Find us online at preppernet.com.
Yeah.
And so he says, well, if you like other people, maybe carry 2. And I'm thinking, crap. I mean, you got a gun, you got an extra mag, and now you got to carry a tourniquet. I mean, where do you hide all this stuff? That's why they invented cargo pants. Right?
That's
I
right.
guess.
That's it.
But yeah, you're supposed to get the tourniquet. And matter of fact, if you have 2 tourniquets or 3 tourniquets and you're out and you put them on people, you can only use 2 of them because the last one you got to save for yourself at all times.
Yeah.
And he told a story about how the medical, I mean, you got 100 people, and if there's 2 medics that's taking care of these 100 people, if the medics go down, they all go down,
That's right.
in a sense. And he said that's why, you can still operate and do things with a tourniquet on and save people's lives.
Yeah.
And he goes, that's why y'all, and that was pretty interesting. So it was, the amazing thing was the fellowship, though, meeting the other people.
Yeah.
And there's some sad things in there too, but we'll get to that. You had an idea, or
Well, then I was going to say that they just have better tourniquets nowadays too, and a lot of them for that. For those who are carrying, they have it specifically for you and packaged in a way for you to carry it easily.
right?
But
They did say you're supposed to open them all.
okay,
You're not supposed to leave them in the package
okay,
because the crack goes down. You got going to be using your teeth
right.
for yourself and stuff. But yes, in your bag you could.
Yeah.
But one of them you got to have ready for yourself.
Right. I mean, that's great advice. And then improvise. You got to know how.
Yeah.
Did they tell you how to
Yeah,
improvise?
they
with it?
did. He said the last thing to ever use is shoelaces, though,
Okay.
because it creates permanent nerve damage.
Because it's too small.
It's too small.
Too small surface area. Yeah.
Yes. And so, if you think about it, life-threatening injuries are gunshot wounds, your leg, bleeding. You have 6 pints of blood, I believe, quarts. No, not 6 pints. 6 2-liter bottles
Yeah.
or something like that. And if you lose half of them, you're done. You're toast.
Yeah.
And he went through all. It was just a great class. The sad thing is, I wanted to bring up the sad thing is, there were deputies from Sheriff's Department.
Man.
There was a fire chief there, and they said that for one, they paid themselves for this training, which is sad. You would think the police department would do some combat, some medical, where you're doing tourniquets and stuff,
Yeah.
and they don't.
Wow.
And so they had to pay for it themselves, but they were there and they loved it and they were enjoying it. Yes.
Wow, man.
You would
know
think
that.
police officers, but and we asked them, why are you guys taking it? And they go, well, because we're not taking it for people we shoot. We're taking it for our fellow brothers when they get shot to help them.
Right.
And currently they just sit back and wait for medical or something.
Yeah. That's a good thought. Definitely got to have that. You've got to have that first responder and that first aid mentality and knowledge.
And this one was, and then we'll get off of my class, but it was pretty cool because we would go up and assess a situation, if it was an accident or whatever it was, and we were in a group of like 5 or 6 people, and we were on alert because the person got shot for a reason. There could be another person around. So we had 2 security people on our team, and they were guns drawn, looking for the bad guys.
Yeah, I saw some photos of that.
Yeah.
So they were
on there ready, and then, to our surprise, one of our own victims in a car, ex-military, he won't release his gun because that's what he is taught to do, is have his gun for protection. And we almost have to take him out to save our own lives because he's going crazy, nuts, a little bit loony, lost so much blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we never even thought about that. We're like, oh my gosh, when people start going shock, they do some crazy things.
They will.
And so we had to actually disarm our own friend that was in the car because he was in shock and losing it.
Right.
And so that surprised us as well.
Yeah.
So it's just like when someone's drowning, things go on in their mind that that could put you in danger.
Yeah.
If
That
you-
very true. And I've been in that situation. So with that, they basically they're taking their skills, because a lot of these guys are former military, medical guys, and they're taking that but applying it into a prepper context, or
just combat medical is what it was named, and meaning it was we all carried guns, we all kind of have like-minded, so it's more than just if you understand the combat medical side, the security, assessing the situation, looking around to see if there's any more threats, then going into a mall and someone gets hurt and starts bleeding out, if you can handle one, you can handle the easier ones.
right.
I think it was their...
Yeah. Okay. Well, the vehicle thing, I guess, would be, because, we had that. We had Humvee training as well, and the convoy and so forth. So, okay. Man, that's some good stuff.
It was good stuff.
I would love to refresh myself, because now I did this I was a hospital corpsman for 5 years. And then I was in the civilian medical world for a year. So 6 years total. It was.
So did you ever have to do treatment on someone in the military?
Oh yeah, all kinds of different
Hangnails,
different
things
scenarios.
like that.
But you're dealing with a lot more healthier. So a lot of healthier people, if you will. And then when I got in the civilian world, I was dealing with all kinds of patients. Now, I did, as a part of my training, I had to go work at the hospice of the VA hospital there in the Chicago area. So that was my very first experience. And I did have to do stints in the hospital at where I was stationed at. And there you're going to get more general, or not more general, you're going to get all kinds of patients and stuff there. But my focus, I was a field medic and aerospace med tech. So I was more combat ready on the ship, aircraft carrier specifically, and in the field with the Marine Corps and so forth.
Hey, thanks for covering me there.
Yeah.
I had the hiccups for some unknown reason.
I wanted to go boo.
So you have actually used your training. See, I'm not an expert in medical by any means.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure I've been in some situations where people broke their legs and things, but nothing life-threatening.
Right.
So, but it is important, not only in our prepping life, to be able to do this, because you got to be able to save yourself.
You do.
If you get shot in the chest, that doesn't mean you're going to die.
Yeah.
I forgot the number. They showed these statistics, but and also the main thing, putting on a tourniquet to a limb does not mean they're going to lose that limb. That is just bad thinking.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, there's been tourniquets, he said, for over 20 hours, and they still save the limb.
Yeah.
Back in the old days, if you put a tourniquet, you can just count that, they're going to have to chop your arm off.
Yeah. They would.
And people still believe that. And that's not the case at all.
Right.
And the other thing I learned, there are only two things. Once you put the tourniquet on, only a doctor can take it off.
And that is very true. Yeah.
Because of all the poison that can get in there.
You don't want to. Once it is on, you don't take it off.
Right.
And that was what we did. Once it's on, you.
But everyone needs to learn how to do it. We had to learn how to do it with one hand. Because if that arm is gone, you got to on your leg, your arm, your neck, your tongue. I was the only one that did the neck one. I don't know.
You didn't last but 5 seconds?
I was out, and then it was lunchtime. I don't know.
Wow.
That was weird. But yeah, so So it would be good for not only you to learn it. I mean, a first aid class doesn't teach this, does it? Does first aid teach tourniquets and chest seals and things like that?
It depends on the level of the first aid.
I guess.
So,
Okay.
so yeah. I would say some, I am so military minded with all of that. It's hard to tell you. Now, what I did as a corpsman, one of the things we were trained, and I still do it. I do it with my wife. We were trained to.
Wait. Is this too much information?
No, it's not.
Okay.
I teach.
You did it with the corpsman.
Yeah.
You do it with your
Oh,
wife.
jeez. I teach them my knowledge.
Uh-huh.
We used to call it hip pocket training, something along those lines. It's been a while since I've been removed from the military here, so I can't remember all my lingo. But I know that we had to train our guys. And so, I mean, I was a CPR instructor trainer. So, and as I trained them CPR, I trained it in a real world scenario, or in a scenario that they're going to be faced with most likely. And then so I would give them extra things. And then I would teach first aid, and I would certify them and everything. Because if I went down and I couldn't do something myself,
Right.
I wanted them to be able
Right.
to save me.
Right.
So, and others around them.
Right. So it'd be good for the whole class your whole family to have some type of training. But you need to learn also how to take care of yourself first. So.
It is, just like in an airplane.
Right.
Well, in another thing that I would do in the military and in my training is not only am I teaching them what to do, but I'm constantly trying to learn new things and apply it. But you'll end up seeing that you'll apply it to outside of whatever scenario you're in. I think you were kind of hinting on that a little bit earlier. But man, I still to this day use my training. Mm-hmm. It's embedded in me. I'm surprised how much I haven't forgotten things. And when I've come up on situations, I was, because y'all know now I do ministry. Mm-hmm. And I was at a camp for, it was like a father-son type camp, but it wasn't just for sons. It was a kind of a mentor type thing. And so there was children there that didn't have fathers and so forth. And they were coming down a zip line into the water. And this one kid dropped in where he had his jeans on. He can swim. He knew how to swim, but he wasn't that strong of a swimmer.
Gotcha. And them jeans weighed
So
him down.
he started going down. He started panicking. And then what happened then, you start panicking, then you just don't do anything right. The father went out in his jeans and clothes on to go try to save him. And so I knew right then I had training for this, but I could only go for one person. So I looked to someone and I said, someone go for the father, I'm going for the son. And so I went, I took my shoes off, got to the son first because he had been in there longer, and brought him out. And then had another gentleman had gotten, two other gentlemen I think got the father. But so you're going to always be found, in that situation. So this stuff's going to stay with you for life.
Right.
This is good training to have.
This is how you become a superhero.
That's it. That's it. But it's not about being a superhero.
It's not. Yeah, no. It's about saving people's lives.
That's it.
And getting credit for it.
And I think that's why I went into medical, and now I'm in ministry, is because I cared about people. But what I think I was better at was that talking to the person and everything. And so that's how I ended up in more ministry side. But emergency medicine was definitely my strong suit.
Yep. Didn't know that. Was the kid start to drinking water? Do CPR?
No, I didn't have to like pump the stomach or anything. I mean, I got out, turned him on his side. He did have a little bit, but he didn't go unconscious or anything like that. So I was able to take care of him there and then get him warm.
And the thing is, when you learn to do this, you need to learn it under stress and pressure as well.
Yeah.
Because I tell you, my wife is a great mother, But if she sees something drastic or traumatic happen to one of my kids, I think she would freeze and freak out and not know what to do, even though she has the training. But it's because it's her kids, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so you got to train past or through that, I guess.
Right.
And if you, that's why I think if you train with, guns going off and, explosions, if you can think through. What surprised me the most was when you're in that situation and you're under pressure and your stress level's high and your adrenaline's, I am amazed in what you don't hear.
It's true.
Because someone across is yelling, he's got a bullet wound to the stomach. And you don't hear that. And they're right there. And I was like, I said, did you say that? Because I'm checking his stomach out to see if there's a bullet wound. And the guy told me he was a bullet wound. And I didn't hear it. It's because I'm so focused and tunneled on what I was trying to do to listen to others.
Yeah.
It was kind of weird.
Well, you also, when you go into that, when you're the first responder, you're also the leader. You're the delegator. Mm-hmm. At that moment, everything all else is
right.
off. You're telling someone to call 911, or you're telling, just like I did, say, you're going to go do this. You're going to go do this. I'm going to take care of this. And you have to do that in a moment's notice. And you got to know how to do that.
Yep.
You got to know where to strategically put someone, especially in a combat situation or multiple.
And that's a good, this is another thing, and then I know you wrote some things down, is...
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Let's say there's a shooting in a mall.
Okay.
And one of your loved ones gets shot. It's going to be a long time before medical gets to them.
Yeah.
In the United States, the way it works, medical never puts their life in danger. So if there's in the mall, mm-hmm. if there's a active shooter, they're not going into the mall until the threat is done and it's been cleared.
That's true.
That means people can die, bleed out, and medical's literally right on the other side of the doors. They're not going to be going into harm's way until it's been cleared safe. I didn't know that.
Yeah. That was one of the things we were trained as well, because I was basically a EMTP paramedic.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually had my EMTI license. But as a corpsman, we go beyond that. The stuff that we did, and in that training, because I was also, when I was on the base, had to deal with things in a civilian type manner. So we were trained not just combat.
Right.
So we're going to people's houses, and sometimes we would assist the town, mm-hmm. and they may have an emergency, and then being on the base, okay, we're going to assist you.
Right.
So we had to be ready for that. So there was a down power line. We had to wait until they cut electricity.
Mm.
Safety first
right.
kind of mentality. Because we don't want that, and then I can't save someone.
Right.
So yeah, there is that. Now, in a very highly stressful situation, a combat situation, that can change. That will change.
So I can see it now. Super Tenderfoot.
That's it.
Is that your name? Is that what all the kids called you?
No.
It
was Doc or Doc Hollywood.
Doc. That was a nickname you had?
That was one, and then I did have my roommate. My roommate was Batman, and I was Superman because I like Superman. That was it. But
what is wrong with
Doc
you?
I said Doc Holliday, didn't I?
Yeah.
Doc Hollywood. Sorry.
Okay.
Doc Hollywood was the nickname at that time because I wanted to go into film and be a movie star.
Did you really?
I did.
Oh my gosh!
So
just think, you could be a liberal right now.
or
what do you mean or there is no or.
I could show them the truth.
Yeah, that's working out good for people. And yeah, but just that is something to keep in mind. If that the help you think is going to come is not going to come until much later, if it's an active, dangerous situation.
Yeah.
They're just not going to put their life in danger to help you. If you're bleeding out or not, that's why, it's good to carry a tourniquet. And I've got to figure out where I can hide one on my body, I guess.
Just go ahead and put it on your leg, man.
Yeah. They do have a pouch thing you can put down on your ankle.
Well, I mean, just go ahead and tie it.
Oh, go ahead and it's just there. And you can wear them as hey, man, I already got them on, man. That's hilarious. But I know it's kind of a serious subject tonight. What the heck? We usually laugh more than this.
We do, don't we?
Yeah. Well, mostly me making fun of you.
Well, I think, one, you just came back from this training, so that kind of impacted you, and it will. Mm-hmm. And this is something that I lived out. So my mind is going more into stories and things and stuff. But, one of the things I meant to say earlier, and I kind of lost my train of thought, but you were talking about you had to do the tourniquet yourself.
Right.
One of the things that we had in our training, we had to give ourselves IVs.
I could do that. A lot of people couldn't do that, but I think I could do that.
They did. They trained us how to do things on yourself. Mm-hmm. And, one, so you could teach and
just go to your room,
build that trust,
give you a couple IVs, just watch some TV. Yeah. That's strange.
That was different moments. But anyway.
Yeah.
But
cut an artery just so you can save it and tie it back together.
We wouldn't be that drastic, but it was some crazy things. But that was one of the great things, I think, being a hospital corpsman. Mm-hmm. We were highly trained and had a lot of honor in what we did. But also, you're going to take that training. I had to use my training tonight. Now, there's things you may not think about. Combat training, we automatically we think of, okay, tourniquets. I got to stop the bleeding, pack the wound, maybe sutures. I don't know if they taught y'all suturing or not.
No, they didn't in this class.
Okay.
We did hangnails.
Oh, good. Did you?
I'm kidding.
Because we did. So, I had to do plenty of hangnails.
Oh, my gosh.
In the Navy. But one of the things I had to do, so we also did sick call. So you're doing all kinds of general stuff.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Your eyes. We had people coming in with all kind of problems with their eyes. Stuff getting in the eyes. You're on the flight deck, stuff's getting flown. Even when they got the mask on, they get stuff in their eyes, or they wipe their eyes. They've been working, with metal. And how to take care of that. My son, you saw him tonight, had a red-looking eye probably. Mm-hmm. And
I thought he was just crying for you whooping him. No.
It turned out it was the simplest thing. Last night, he was taking a shower. He comes out. We thought he had soap in his eye. And so we're like, okay, let me just, try to take care of it like that. Just keep your eye closed and everything. He said, yeah, I feel a little better. Went to sleep. Guess he woke up in the middle of the night. Amber said, he's still complaining about his eye. Well, I couldn't do anything. Went to work. I said, just let's put a warm compress on it. Let's see what happens. Because I tried to look, I didn't see anything at first. So anyway, after I got done with you, I came up here. I grabbed
He's reaching behind you. Okay.
Q-tips. Usually I have sterile Q-tips, but I just had some Q-tips. And I had to flip his eyelid up. I said, son, it's going to feel freaky. Now he's about 6 years old. Mm-hmm. He is 6 years old. And he's about 6 years old. I know. I don't even know how old he is. So I'm flipping the eyelid, and I see a very itsy-bitsy tiny speck that doesn't belong there. But see, that's a trained eye. My wife's like, how did you see that? And I just took it, boom, got it out really quick. And he was like, instantly his eye was better, swelling, everything went down. But you're gonna one, what I'm trying to go there is that you've got to think about things like that, little tiny things in a prepping situation. Do you know how to handle? I get something in my eye, and
something
then
in your eye is the worst too.
And you're going to use it. You're going to use it in everyday life.
Mm-hmm. So at the Carolina Preppers meeting next month, we actually have an EMT coming in and to teach trauma, first aid / trauma.
Awesome.
We've never had medical, and I'm not sure why, because I never could find someone that I felt that understood the trauma aspect of first aid.
Yeah.
And you have first aid people. We have nurses, but most of the nurses, they're not dealing with a lot of trauma. I mean, unless they're in like an emergency room, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this guy is actively, he's on our forums. I think his name is, he goes by Prepper Ralph.
Okay.
Have you seen? You don't participate in that. You don't even. Jeez, you missed our last meeting actually. But anyway, so he's going to be training us next month on that. But medical, it's a huge part. Not all groups have doctors in their in their survival group. Matter of fact, your number one goal, your number one task is to find a doctor, EMT, a nurse, and friend them.
Yeah.
Because when the crap hits the fan, you are going to need that person because there's skills that they have that you'll never have unless you become a doctor.
Right.
Or, a nurse. So you've got to find people that can do that. And they are valuable. They're more valuable than probably maybe we are. I mean, they just are. They can save lives in another way that we could save lives, by, our gun and all this other training that we have. But they're important.
Yeah.
And so it's something to think about. I mean, how do you find them? You call 911. Let them come to your house and interview them.
That's nice.
Oh, that's not the way to do it. Hey guys, thanks for showing up. I got a couple questions for you.
Well, I mean, I think one you could a lot of military guys like myself, that have that training,
right?
Whether corpsman, army medic, whatever you got out there.
Then there's CERTs. You familiar with CERTs training?
CERTs,
CERTS.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the local fire department has all these. The Mecklenburg County area doesn't do it, in Union County, but a lot of places that's big, and they'll pay for your training if you do that, and you're kind of like on standby to help them.
Oh yeah, like a volunteer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of but we just don't have that program here.
And it's that what you did. I don't know if I said that earlier. I really would love to go back and retrain myself. Mm-hmm. Though I still got the some of those skills.
Right, you need to.
You still need to do refreshers and stuff like that. But that would be, I think,
that was
something I would be good at.
Fayetteville, North Carolina. The name of it was Recondo Operations. I believe it was the name of it.
It sounds Recondo, I know.
In it, and I mean, look them up. Go. It's the guy that runs it is. They're all just amazing. Here it is. It's called Recondo Operations Group, and they're out of Fayetteville. It was a great class. I mean, and the cool thing was that the social and meeting the other people, that was really cool. And it was cheap. It was $100 for a whole day of training. I thought that was cheap.
Yeah.
So and then afterwards we got our guns out and started shooting some metal. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
The sun's going down and we're ding 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 ding. It's pretty cool.
But man, I mean, you can't really put a price on that. That again, that stuff that you can use daily.
Having the ability to save someone's life is crazy. I mean, it's just what I mean. It's just crazy. And why not? And it's a skill that could save your life or your family's life. So medical is important. There's a good book. It's not really. It's Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy has a book called The Medicine Handbook or something like that. Everyone needs that book.
Yeah. But
you don't want to be looking at a book of how to put on a tourniquet, page 419.
No. Just like your survival, so I can't even talk. Your survival book, you don't want to wait and try to read,
right?
Because then all it's good for is to light a fire.
Yeah, that's the truth.
You've got to look over the stuff and look through the stuff and just know it, and
that's good for life. You know what I mean?
It is.
A lot of the skills people go, you're one of them crazy preppers. I'm like, yeah, I can shoot a gun. I can defend my family. Oh, that's a life skill.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can save, if something happens to my kid needs CPR or needs a tourniquet, or I can help save them. I mean, you store food back. I mean, the world's never going to end. Yeah, but I may lose my job. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so all these skills that we learn are important. Well, you're getting your ham license. I mean, really, that's nerds.
But you can be on these volunteer things
Right.
that you just mentioned, volunteer fire departments,
Right.
and all of that stuff. You need those skills, and they need people
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
You're one thing that you didn't hit on is that is becoming less and less, and it's harder for them to find those people in these communities. And a lot of time, majority of people live in these smaller communities
Right.
where they do have that
Right.
volunteer base.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yep.
so this is stuff that definitely is useful.
So yeah, a lot of these skills are transferred for when the crap hits the fan, because it's not going to be The Walking Dead tomorrow morning. You know what I mean? You know, maybe in a few years after Trump destroys the world. Oh wait, that's what I heard on the liberal media this week. Sorry, sorry, I got carried away there. But I mean, all these skills come in handy in just everyday life as well.
Yes.
So, and my wife and your wife went to a class.
Yes.
They did. Okay, dudes, I told you we live this stuff.
Yep.
We get our wives to live it too.
That's right. And they went to the same class.
They
That was
went to the
cool.
same class.
She didn't even tell me. My wife didn't even tell me. I found that out tonight.
No, I told you. I saw your wife on Sunday, and I told her my wife was going to be there, and she knew.
And she didn't. I know she didn't say anything.
So they went to a class on. Gosh, what was the name of it? It was on holistic medicines and essential oils.
So, yeah.
So it wasn't one of these network marketing recruiting. It was a lady that's a homesteader for 43 years. She's in our group. She goes by the name Elemental.
Yeah. She's totally awesome.
Totally awesome. Teaches a lot of our classes. And they went and they were learning how to do essential oils and all this kind of stuff. And they were in the same class. I mean, I'm not sure they were I think they were different tables.
Different tables.
Because they're serious. When you get in Ellie's class, it's like, okay, everyone's here, sit down, we're
I'm going
going.
to put you here and yeah.
And they didn't even talk. They didn't even take a break.
Man, this is some serious stuff. She came back with like books.
I know,
And
exactly.
everything that Ellie had put all that stuff together. And that is also a part of your medical training and stuff like that.
Yep.
100%. This is useful stuff. You are just going to be a better medically trained if you know even this stuff.
Ellie she saved my life twice. I've told you this story.
Yeah, I've heard you say. Yeah, you.
One time, I think I had food poison or something, and she gave me this these different essential oils or whatever, and I mixed them together or did something, and I was literally hurling every 3 minutes. I mean, it was nonstop for hours, and I drank this stuff she told me to drink, and I immediately stopped. I gave her credit for saving my life.
Wow.
And then I had the flu. And she told me what to do, and I did it all, and boom, it was like it went away fast. So I trust that lady.
Yeah.
And she has classes in her house. So if you go to Facebook. Gosh, I'm inviting a lot of people. People are going to be mad at me. We look up the Carolina Preppers Network, especially if you're the Carolinas, because that's what it's really meant for. But we do occasionally allow other people in, and she's there. And if you ask her a question that has 5 words or even 10, it doesn't matter. She's going to answer it with about 7,000 words.
Yeah, she does. She provides a lot.
She provides all the information you absolutely need. She's amazing. But they were in the same class. That's so cool that our wives are doing something.
It is. It is. So we live it, and our family lives it, and we pass it.
Yes.
Pass it on. With that learning that stuff, I was thinking, did they talk to you any about medications and stuff like that?
Who's they?
In your class that you took?
No, we didn't talk about that much.
Okay, because and granted, that's something as a corpsman we got this wide range of knowledge, and I carry that with me, but. Knowing my pharmaceutical stuff as well, and this stuff right here, the holistic medicines, the oils and everything, that stuff, and you always got to keep up on. But that stuff that comes in handy, and I would even think about that in your group as well too.
Right.
When you're thinking of a doctor, think broad. Think not just a doctor. think other things too. People that have these skills, because you may need some medicines, and you've got someone who's trained in pharmaceuticals and whatnot that can help you find that or give you alternatives. And of course, with the essential oils and stuff like that, I mean, that stuff is, for me, has been great. I usually have a tendency to stay away from a lot of
witchcraft.
I stay away from medicines. I stay away from shots and stuff.
Well, here's the
Even
thing.
though I was trained in it, I'm
right.
like, I'm going to stay away from the chemicals.
Well, here's the thing about essential oils, and it's great that people are getting into them. There's these different companies, but the people that are administering the essential oils, they're reading or listening to a person at their organization saying, we use this one for headaches. We use this one for this. And there's that just bothers me. They're passing down information. It could be the correct information. It could not be the correct information. But when you go to someone like Elemental, she's tested these over 40-some years, makes her own essential oils, or used to.
Yeah.
She still does some, makes her own, and she lives this.
Yes.
And so if you're in any network marketing group, I don't care what it is, and you're listening to what your company tells, do more research. And then, go to a lady that's been doing it, something like this, and you learn because she tells you things. I mean, I tell you this, when she taught essential oils in our class, there were a bunch of network marketing people that came to listen to learn from her.
Yeah.
So they could sell their product, and she was okay with that.
Yeah.
And it's all good product with, it's just, you need to have some knowledge behind it.
Right. And this is very useful because like we did at the prepper camp. We did the wild edibles and what was the other one? Essentially like this. I just can't get the words out right now. But using wild plants and stuff for medical purposes.
Medicinal?
Yes.
Okay.
Medicinal purposes.
Yep.
And so...
And marijuana.
You never...
Did I say that?
If you're in California, which is now legal, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
Denver.
There you go. So if you're out in the woods or wherever you are, going back to the prepping stuff, then you know the stuff around you to also use.
Right.
That is just good knowledge, and I apply that. I even with the medical stuff, definitely that's all inclusive.
Something I learned. Now I don't know how to do this, but let's say you find yourself walking through a poison ivy field, or you brush up against a tree. Apparently, Elemental will say if there's poison ivy within 30 feet of the poison ivy, there's a counteractive agent plant that you can put, and it will neutralize the poison ivy.
Jewelweed.
And it's is it
jewelweed is one?
It?
Yeah, you can use.
And
jewelweed.
she said it's just the way nature does it.
That isn't it awesome?
And I'm like, I never knew that.
Yeah.
Now I just got to learn what jewelweed is. I thought it was poison ivy, and I put it on you.
Yeah, jewelweed. Yeah,
Jewelweed.
Yeah,
everything comes back to weed.
Back to weed. But no, that is one. Yeah, but you got to know how to use it. You can't just say, "Oh, I got a plant. I'm just going to
chew it, right?
Slap myself."
But yeah, that's hilarious. So, couple things. We can beat this with a dead horse. I mean, you just got to learn this stuff.
Beat it with a dead horse or beat the dead horse?
Beat the dead. Too much tea tonight, man. I've had sweet tea all day long.
You were the man if you could beat something with a dead horse.
Dude, I'll pick that horse up and just beat the crap out of something.
Oh, man.
Oh my goodness. Hey, so that's about. Let's just don't. That's good. That's just good information. Go do it. Quit sitting on your hiney and go do it. And if you're doing it, send us an email. Go to preppingacademy.com. Got a contact page. Just say, hey, my wife and I, or I'm doing this and this and this. We want to hear what you're doing.
Yeah, share this knowledge and spread.
Yeah, knowledge in your head ain't crap.
Right.
Unless you know how to implement it.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There are many people who've written books on how-to books and they've never done it themselves.
You got that right.
Isn't that the truth?
I think like all the engineers that make you go there, you get some things that are made by like an engineer, but
wait.
they never use it.
What's that store? Everybody buys this stuff, and the engineers never put it together. I'm sure.
The IKEA.
IKEA. I'm sure engineers never put that crap together.
Oh,
they
man.
gave up. They paid someone because they couldn't get it together, but they designed it on a computer.
You got that right. Man.
But yeah, so this is the Prepping Academy, and we are once a week we'll put out a podcast. Next week's going to be live.
Yes.
So that means you got to make it to my house
Monday.
Monday night at 9 p.m.
Okay.
We're going to have Glenn Tate on, which is the author of 299 Days. Did I ask you if you read them? Oh, you didn't.
It's an ongoing thing.
Okay, 299 Days is a 10-book series that is really cool. And my friend Chen is in the book. You know, he's written
that's
in
right. Yep.
So my friend is actually kind of one of the characters in the book. Great series. I love that series. I read all 10 of them.
Did it take you 299 days?
No, it didn't. It's kind of interesting how he spreads it out, but it's really cool. One of my favorite series until, I guess my new favorite one is Mark Goodwin's series. But he's going to be on the 29th of January. The 26th of February is going to be Mark Goodwin.
Awesome.
He is awesome. Matter of fact, he's going to be at Heritage Life Skills in April, which is in Waynesville, North Carolina. And we're going to hang out and we're going to interview him again, even there. Different subjects.
Yeah.
We talked about his books before.
We got all kinds of things.
Yeah, we're going to talk about other things. Glenn Tate will probably talk about his book and got some good some questions for him.
This is all February.
No, January is Glenn Tate. That's next week.
I guess January is still
And
next week.
February 26th is Mark Goodwin. Scott Hunt's going to be on. We got some people. We got some of the content. I mean, send us an email and tell us what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Because we know everything.
And I'll be gone.
Oh, wait, we don't. Yeah. Are you leaving?
In March, I'll be gone for 2 weeks. So, yeah, basically all of March
you can
almost.
call in from Israel and give us a live report.
Man, that is going to be such a great trip, but I will be exhausted.
Dude, I wonder if Zello, will you take your phone? Take it?
What's that?
Will you take your phone?
I will take it.
Get on the Wi-Fi though.
Yeah, we'll have Wi-Fi.
Easy. Yeah.
We'll have Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be like it was in China. I'm not going to rough it as much there. So, but we are going to be doing like 10-mile hikes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
so,
that's
yeah,
baloney. Well, you've been on a little health kick here.
I have.
I need to.
Yes.
I mean, these guns need a better base.
Well, one, I was trying to get conditioned, but yes, I'm trying to make a life change as well. Get back conditioned, healthy, but I do have to get conditioned.
You've
for
lost
this
like
trip.
15
pounds.
And now you weigh what, 140?
Nice.
I was being nice.
That was. I don't know. 140 may be a little too much.
Well, you're not as tall as I am. I'm 6'2".
Are you really?
Yeah. When I stretch.
When you stretch.
My license says 6'1.5".
I'm going to wear platform shoes.
Okay, we only got about 3 more minutes. But hey, go to our website, preppingacademy.com. Prepping, with ING, academy.com. Join our mailing list so we can send you out when we're going to be live. Because when we're live, we're going to have a chat room as well.
Yes.
And we'll be able to take your questions. The live thing's already set up, and we're good to go.
And I can read the chats.
No, you can't. When you read chats, you get, all of a sudden, you're in a la-la land, and I have to go, Travis, over here, we're doing a show. Oh, sorry. So, preppingacademy.com. Again, we're going to be live Monday night. If you go there, you'll be able to listen to it. Then it'll go to a podcast, so you can listen to it there as well. But if you have questions for Glenn, you can join us. When you're not leaving until March, so you'll be here for the next month or so.
Yes, next month.
Next month. And any other announcements? We got like less than a minute. We got like 40 seconds left. and then our producer, which is me.
You like that.
So anyway, just
tell everyone about the show.
tell everybody we need 1 million subscribers.
Yes, and tell them about Tenderfoot. That's what's going to bring in the.
When we get to 1 million, our pay doubles.
Yes. Oh, good.
Yeah. So
That'd be awesome.
yeah.
0, 0.
Darn, I hate the math on that. So anyway, preppingacademy.com. We will see you guys next Monday.
See you guys.
Thanks for listening to the Prepping Academy podcast. Preppers Unite at www.preppingacademy.com.
Has your data been hacked? Do you feel uneasy about the vulnerability of your personal information online? Were you involved in the Target, LinkedIn, or Microsoft data leaks? Don't know? If not, then pay attention. Join Forrest Garvin from PrepperNet for a free webinar on privacy and security. Gain insights into safe internet browsing, VPNs, crafting online aliases, secure emails, detecting if your data has been hacked, and managing passwords. Secure your spot today for this webinar on privacy and security. It's free. This webinar delves into comprehensive strategies for bolstering your online privacy. We've got you covered, from fortifying your passwords to shielding your financial information and mastering state-of-the-art encryption techniques. We're offering 2 convenient dates to suit your schedule. Reserve your spot now at preppernet.com/privacy. Don't let cyber threats erode your peace of mind any longer. Take the first step toward a safer, more secure online experience by joining us for our free webinar. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to safeguarding your privacy. Sign up now at preppernet.com/privacy. We'll see you there.